Hello from Turkey. I'm Nevşin Mengü. I'm a journalist, and I have Orhan Şener Deli Ormanlı. He's an academic. Well, from Turkey, we're gonna we're gonna give you some advice about how to live with a populist leader.
Hi guys. So first of all, why are we speaking here? I mean, how can we know what you're dealing with? That is the biggest question here. The thing is that Turkey has long been the pioneer in populist politics. Before Donald Trump was just a TV personality, we were dealing with this. Actually, for the last 22 years, maybe we are being ruled by a populist right-wing party and a leader in Turkey, namely Recep Tayyip Erdogan and his AKP ruling party. So
Actually,
here are
maybe we should
some.
put it more bluntly, Orhan. I think we should say, okay, populist, but rather an illiberal, like a
Yeah.
populist leader who turned the system into an illiberal democracy. So, because we've been watching our American colleagues, and especially the liberal ones, like totally in panic, and they're like, some of them are afraid. I'm saying they think America is going to turn into like a blunt dictatorship. So we thought we could just share some advice, actually, how it goes, how that sort of populist right-wing leaders, how do they transform the systems? I don't know, to give you some advice or like a hint, basically guide
Yeah.
you in the forthcoming 4 years.
Exactly. So most of the things that our American colleagues are afraid of, we have already experienced them. So I think we might have some useful tips. So step by step, okay? First of all,
Exactly.
you are not in a condition as bad as you are thinking, okay? Because we are far beyond, and even for us, there is hope. For you, you're actually in an advantageous position if you're thinking that, like, in terms of progressive rights, women's rights, reproductive rights, equality, economics, anything that you may count, except maybe the health system, most probably you are doing much better than us. And most probably because of the institutional stability of the United States and because of its economic power and such, and also because of demographic advantages, most probably you will be fine. Okay, so don't be just scared. This is not normal. I mean, the reactions that you are giving, in my humble opinion, they're a bit extreme. Okay, the first week acceptable, but starting from Monday, my humble advice would be just keep things simple and calm down. Okay, things
Do you
will be
remember? Do
better.
you remember 20 years ago, our first week? Actually, I kind of do. Actually, I kind of remember when our
Yeah.
party first took the municipalities. They were a different party back then. They were Refah Party, and they were like totally openly pro Islamic law. And I kind of remember my mom was trembling and everything.
Yeah,
It
it was
was
like
it was
27
horrible.
years ago or something
Yeah,
when they
but we
first
still remember.
took the municipalities. I remember that.
Yeah.
I also remember the day when Tayyip Erdogan and his ruling party became the first in the parliamentary elections, 2002, I would say. It was my
Yeah.
first year in the university, and I remember that people like being scared about it. There were many things to be worried about. I was a bit like back then, I didn't care much about politics, but now I see that most of the things that they were worried about, they became the reality. We are much less a
Exactly.
secular country. Institutions have been collapsed. Economy is much worse. Turkey is not as strong as it used to be, is not as respectful as it used to be, but still we are here. And I mean, it is not the worst country in the world. Okay, we have a bad leadership, I would say, but thanks to the history and the population and the opposition and the demographic dynamics of the country, they are still, I mean, doing okay. Now,
We
here are
have
the practical advice.
50%. We
Okay.
have actually a similarity with the United States. We have a 50% opposition. So,
Mhm.
it's a very divided country. There is polarization, the 50% pro government, 50% the opposition. But that is very valuable. So, I mean, I'm leaving you that
Yeah.
first step. What are they supposed to do? They have to accept the reality,
First of
right?
all, accept the reality and accept that there are people, millions of people, who are not thinking like, okay, just because someone does not believe that women should have the right to have an abortion does not necessarily mean that they are the worst people ever. Okay, I personally am pro-choice and liberal and progressive in many issues, but guys, come on, I mean, those people exist. They are there, okay, and they will not just vanish. If you want them to vanish, that does not say something about them but about you. Okay, so please do not wish that people just vaporize or vanish. They are there, millions of people, and they exist. And apparently when it comes to ballot mobilization, they sometimes do better than you. So please accept that they are there. And secondly, please do not call all of them fascists or Nazis or something. 99% of them are probably nothing close to a Nazi or a fascist. Okay, obviously there are fascists. Maybe they are like a bit more within the like right-wing circles, obviously, but each side have their own extremes. So please do not judge your opposing side with their worst person. Okay, you also have some people who are really extreme, and you wouldn't probably want it to be represented by that evil person. So they're there, you are different, they're thinking different than you, but you need to accept. If you like continue to stigmatize them and like always use the words like fascist, Nazi, and such, first of all, it's not ethical. Secondly, it's not logical. But third, and most importantly, even if it were ethical and everything, it does not work. In the ballot, you would just be mobilizing your opponents. So accept that they exist. That was the first. Secondly,
Exactly.
please, guys, I mean, if you look deep enough, there will always be things that would sadden you. Okay, do not care too much about the things that don't directly affect. Okay, intersectionality, despite the fact that most people argue that it is one of the like most useful tools for like liberal causes to make their voices heard, actually it does not, because it puts too much of a burden on each cause. Okay, each cause probably have their own like supporters, but the intersection point is just only one person or something. Okay, you cannot want everyone to accept to be like pro-choice, like pro-climate, vegan, and also a feminist, and also anti-war and everything. People are some of those, but you can't expect them to be all of them at the same time. So please
Exactly.
always focus on one cause at a time, and
Choose your
do not,
cause. Choose your cause with priority, like just
yeah,
know your place. So get a tactic, get a strategy, and say, okay, this is my main cause. So I'm gonna basically progress on that, right?
exactly. Otherwise, you would be just a marginal minority trying to make your
Exactly.
voice heard.
Don't everything at
Maybe
the same
you
time.
might look cool, but winning the elections is more important than looking
Exactly.
cool or even virtuous. As far as
True.
I've seen, especially Democratic Party leaders and also some of the like the pioneers or like activists in the field, they care too much about looking virtuous and being like most moral person ever. You are not a prophet. You're not an angel. You're just trying to win the election. Once you win the election, then okay, ask for more, demand more, like try to be the best leadership ever or something. First, you need to win the election, and it cannot be
Exactly.
done without making your hands a bit dirty. Okay, politics is not that kind of a thing that you can remain like the cleanest or something. You need to touch some issues which would make some people unhappy. Thus, intersectionality, no. Focus on one cause and do not try to moralize people. You are not a prophet or an angel. Do not call people names and such. This is not a moral issue. It's not a war between evil and God. This kind of dichotomy really does not work. Okay, so most
It
of the
doesn't.
time people are voting for simple reasons. So do not associate them with like moralistic values. And that's that.
And also, like saying these people don't understand, they don't know anything. There are really important things going on around the world, but these people are ignorant. They don't know. I mean, it doesn't help you at all. I mean, taking this paradigm, choosing this paradigm to understand the water base, it doesn't help you at all. It doesn't matter. Not everybody has to be like the most virtuous person ever, and like I don't know, read all these foreign policy magazines and like deep dive into philosophy or political philosophy or whatnot. People have one life, and all they want is to have like a stable whatever life where they can pay the
Yeah.
mortgage for their house and have a healthy happy life with kids and grandkids and whatnot. That's it. Very simple. People are simple. We all are
Exactly.
simple. So you have to understand that first to win the elections. But my favorite point among your points is like don't take the populist leader literally, but take him seriously. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, this is not something that I found. It has long been discussed in the American Twitter. I can't remember who said this, but let me explain what I've heard from the Americans and like sell it to the Americans again. So for the last 1 year, especially the liberal media, democratic media, whatever you would like to call it, I don't know. I'm not sure how to define or call New York Times or whatever it is. They are really fixated with what Trump says. Oh, he said this, he said that. He's the like misogynistic comments, weird comments, JD Vance, cats, lady, whatever. Okay, first of all, JD Vance, guys, come on. I mean, he's really a normal guy. He just made this one bad comment, but he's mostly decent. Donald Trump, I can't call him decent. He's really like non-conventional in the most polite way to put it, and he's chaotic. He's rumbling most of the time. But tactics-wise, strategy-wise, always making fun of him. It didn't work in 2016. It didn't work in 2024. It won't work. People, you don't like him because of the way he looks and because of the way he talks and because of the things that he says. And exactly because of those reasons, his voter base is voting for him. So just because you are making fun of him will not make them change their mind, but instead it will strengthen their opinion and it will mobilize them to go and they will vote for it. Okay, don't make fun of him and do not fixate on the things that he says. He says too many things. Okay, try to understand the real logic going behind it. Okay, do not fixate on words, but take him seriously, because when he says something, you say, oh, he can't do it. He talks about a wall, he can't do it. You fixate on the words that he says, but you don't take him serious. His base, on the other hand, always said, oh, he says things, doesn't matter, but at the end of the day, he will deliver his promise. Promises made, promises will be kept, he said. So that is true. So enough with this, like, always fixation on the rhetoric and the, like, his choosing on words, but focus on his policies and what he is going to try to make. I also agree that he looks weird. I also agree that it should not be governed by memes on Twitter, but it is what it is. And those things, despite looking weird, are the cosmetics. At the end of the day, what matters is policy. Okay, if you're going to criticize, for example, you have the right, actually you should and you must criticize what he did against Roe versus Wade about abortion.
Exactly.
Okay? That's an actual. But if you insist on like talking about J.D. Vance and cat ladies and no, that doesn't work. Like migrants are eating squirrels and babies, whatever. Okay, in his mind, he's a funny guy and his base loves it. Okay, what you say really does not work well here. What he said about immigration.
Okay. Do you think making fun of populist leaders doesn't work?
No, it doesn't work. Actually, it just mobilizes his base. Do not make fun of them. Okay, be harsh. You can say like he doesn't know what he is going to do. He has no idea. His team is bad. This policy is bad. These are totally legit. You should, maybe must attack him, but do not make fun of him about the way he dresses, the way he talks. And also, when it comes to his base, please don't be that condescending person. Okay, you are too mean sometimes. Always saying, oh, those weirdos, those quote unquote rednecks, whatever. You are using really weird words. Okay, this is not normal. No one, I mean, these are human beings and they don't like to be called names. Okay, just because you are making fun of them does not necessarily mean that what are you expecting? Should they just like go to a corner and cry or something? Should they write it on their diary or something? No, they're just getting more angry, go and vote against you, and at the end of the day you become the one who is defeated and they become the ones who are victorious. If you want to win, don't make fun of the base, attack the leader, but don't make fun of the cosmetics.
Exactly. That's really important. Don't make fun of either the leader or the base. Also, it doesn't work. Like, these people are weird. What are those people? I mean, remember this Biden's garbage committee? Literally, basically, it was all over the place. And then Democrats, it took a lot of time for Democrats to explain themselves. Like, actually, Biden did not call the voters garbage, but then he just avoid that sort of talk. I'd say it really, the other side makes use of it. That's really important.
Yeah.
So
by the way, we are not like experts because we read about those things. We experienced all of those again and again and again and again and again and again.
We lived through we have been living through those, guys, like literally every
I'm
day.
saying those things because I did all of them.
Exactly. Don't think that these things only happen in American politics. The world is not actually that different. I mean, trust us. Yeah, there is American exceptionalism and a different system, but humans are humans. How we think and how we do politics, actually, they are sometimes quite similar. So I mean, that's why we're making this video. So what else? This virtue signaling. I see that's another sickness.
Which
also
one?
in Turkey. Virtue signaling.
Virtue signaling. I mean, the thing
especially from the left. Yeah.
I mean, how are you going? I mean, if you really want to remain clean and virtuous, do not touch anything. Don't involve in politics. Go to a monastery or something. Then you will be virtuous. But if you want to be involved in politics and even like win an election, election, you have to say things that will upset some of your voter base. Okay, do not fixate on them. There will always be some people who are a small minority, but you hear them all the time. Okay, this does not necessarily mean that they are the most important people. Okay, do not fixate on Twitter. Do not fixate on like your strongest base, but always like try to the main goal here to win is to win the election. Okay, for example, let's look at
Exactly.
what Trump did. He focused on his own base. He went like dig deeper, but he realized that abortion issue is going to cause him lose the election. That's why he kept it really soft. Yeah, he didn't push it too much. Yeah, because he knew that his voter base is also, I mean, against that kind of like a harsh abortion ban. So he just like didn't mention it too much and he talked softly about it. This is something that you can do. I mean, whatever he says, his voter base is just like, okay, fine. I mean, whatever he says, he's gaining more votes. On the other hand, whatever Democrats say, they're losing votes. So this is not a good tactic.
Exactly.
Do
So
not
what should
try
they
to
do?
be
What should
perfect.
they do? Like give, I don't know, 3, 4 points for the politicians. I don't know, young politicians or politics
Mhm.
enthusiasts in the United States. What are they supposed to do?
First of all, you need to be on the road. You need to talk to people. Okay. I mean, being in the DC is already a big minus because I
I
mean, the
think so.
demographics wise, polls, everything, it's an exception. Okay. So if you want to involve in politics, you need to know the people who are going to vote for you, even the people that are not going to vote for you. That thing,
Be
for
on
example,
the ground, shake people's hands, like face to face,
yeah,
right? Face to face,
yeah.
face to face. That's really important. Rather than being in an echo chamber and just talking on digital media, podcasts, these are important. I'm not saying they are not important, but you
Mhm.
have to be literally touching people. I mean, that
Exactly.
really works.
The opposition in Turkey won some like local elections in the recent years, and the biggest reason is that we have really good mayors who are always on the street talking to people. This is not only for the people to know you, but also for you to know the people as well. I mean,
Exactly.
otherwise, how is it going to work? That thing, for example, the exodus from Twitter X to Blue Sky.
Exactly.
It's
What do you
like
think about
hate
that?
speech. People are disgusting. I hate them. Why are you so disgusted of people? I mean, what is this? This disgust is so strong a word. I mean, I'm so sorry, but like if you're looking for like some fascist vibes, being always disgusted of like millions of people is a bit problematic. So okay, maybe it's hurting you, but I would say instead of creating even a smaller echo chamber in Blue Sky, I recommend that you stay on Twitter and try to like explain what you need to explain, or like at least keep an eye on what people are talking.
A very good point. Let it be our last point because I think
Yeah,
we continue with these videos. Bunlar in English. Bunlar means they, them in English,
those.
but it doesn't mean what you think it means. We're gonna elaborate more on that. So we're gonna be doing these videos. I'd say as a closing remark, be in the enemy lines. You know, be among the enemy lines. That's how you win. Just
Yeah,
be
that
there.
that
You know,
that,
not
that
on your
shouldn't be
side.
your like. I mean, that's not a good day to leave the battlefield. Okay, that's actually the day that you need to stand your ground and fight for whatever the thing that you are fighting.
Exactly. To be continued.